Hey everybody, Chris Scott here. Just wanted to give you a quick update on the Ottawa real estate market. We're here out front of CTC. The Sens are opening up this week, and always an exciting time. The real estate market is been very interesting to observe, and I recently had a chance to sit down with some top agents in Ottawa, and we really discussed kind of what they all felt was happening in the market, and how to interpret some of the statistics that have been released from the Ottawa Real Estate Board. It was really a consensus between all of us that it's still a very good market in Ottawa, one that now doesn't favor buyers or sellers, so it's a balanced market. There's enough inventory to be in that balanced position, which is a good market. And it's changed. I mean, we were in such a hard market for buyers, and now that everything has changed, there seems to be a lot of fear that has crept into the market. A lot of uncertainty with the possibility of future interest rate hikes. So that's what has been really challenging to observe. And what everybody's been saying around the table was that they have felt in the last few weeks that things were extremely quiet, and not like other times where things were quiet, where they really were not getting a lot of activity on their listings or getting a lot of phone calls. So that could be an indication that we're going to potentially go into even a slower time as more inventory comes on the market. When you look at year-to-date sales for Ottawa, when you look at it compared September compared to last September, the numbers match out. It was pretty even. But when you look at the year-to-date sales of this year and you examine that against the past 10 years, it's really interesting to see that our sales are quite a bit lower this year. Obviously, we know the reasons for that: high interest rates, inflation, consumer confidence. There's a lot of different elements at play. And what that's done, of course, is it's put downward pressure on prices year to date. We're down over 6% now on homes. So there's a lot to take in there, but I do feel like we could be going into a winter that may be challenging for sellers, and I feel like the sellers need to change their expectations, because a lot of sellers we encounter still feel like, well, if their house hasn't sold in 30 days, then there's something wrong with the market, or with the marketing, or with the staging, or with whatever. Could be price, but I think we're going to need to have a little bit more patience as our market has. I'd say the word stabilized, but it really has stabilized. It's normalized. I mean, really, when you look at it from a historical perspective, we're finally in more of a common market. The last, 2.5 years, was so different than anything else that we had historically, really, in terms of, how fast things were selling, the months worth of inventory. And as you see from a year-to-date perspective, our months of inventory is still relatively low comparative in the last 10-year cycle. Now, what that graph is not showing you is we've had a huge boost of listings over the past 6 weeks, so we're actually pushed now over 3 months of inventory and into that balanced territory. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we do over the winter time, as I'm seeing a lot more listings coming to market and not as many absorbing into the market. So I do think it's going to be a slower winter. I think there's going to be some deals out there for buyers for sure. Always the best time to buy is like the dead of winter, January. And then what's most interesting is to see how things are going to come through on the other end in the springtime. A lot of different opinions around that table with the mastermind of where everybody thinks the market is going to go. I think it's going to be fine. I think we're going to have a solid spring as long as our interest rates stay the same. Anyways, sorry, this has got a little long, but I just wanted to go through that with you. And of course, if you have any questions on what's happening, every neighborhood in Ottawa is very different and has different trends, different inventory. So please feel free to get in touch with us. Thanks, everybody. Take care.